That's okay.
It happens about once a class.
Hey,
The phone's still around.
The phone company put it there, they're testing it.
Yeah, obviously. Periodic gravity check.
Yeah.
It's a very sturdy model.
You signed up?
No, I haven't said that.
Okay, let me do the introduction of what we get going. Okay, are you signed up already?
No. Who do I see?
You see me after we get people. You're gonna have to sit someplace else today. There it is.
Open the door?
Yeah, I'll
Yeah.
better than it's ever been. Usually it's on there.
We do have air conditioning, and it's going to be a little warm up here today, so we may want to close the doors for as long as it lasts. Because we should be getting up in the mid-90s today. So, is that door?
That door will close, yeah.
Yeah. So, Nobby? Okay. Okay? Okay, you can either stand or be seated. Seki, whatever you're going to move for. Okay, I want to welcome you to our seminar this morning, this afternoon. The gentleman next to me is Soke David Dye. I've known him for many years. He's come up here from Costa Mesa. He had a wonderful experience with traffic this morning. He's been on the road since 6. Tony, how long have you been on the road since?
About 5 o'clock.
5 or okay. Anyway, so the way today is going to operate is that David is going to be teaching the street techniques of Shuryokan approved Aikijitsu and Takewalu, Hawaiian Lua, okay, and that will go to 11:30. We'll take a break around 10 o'clock, okay, for the wonderful facilities out there. If you need to go out there, just bow up and go in and just use them, make sure you wash your hands. And we also have Gatorade and water here if you need it, okay. And yes, the ice chest does leak. I discovered that in the car this morning. But so that's there if you want something cold. Then we're going to take a break for lunch at 11:30. There are places to eat down on Soledad Canyon, okay, and both directions. I think you got more junk food in that direction, like Taco Bell and McDonald's and Burger King and Carl's and all those really nutritious places. And then we'll be back here on 12:30, and from 12:30 to 3:30, and then around 12:30, 2 o'clock, we'll take another break, and then we're done at 3:30. Okay. We'll be using afternoon. We'll be using little flashlight or short stick. I've got some dowels for those who didn't bring any. You pull out your regular flashlight. I have one at home that has like 10 D cells in it. Also use it for baseball practice. That's a big. I can see where I'd be in trouble with these things. But they have a 20-wheel one because it'll train you. Anyway, so we're going to be doing that this afternoon. Short stick, and if you have a flashlight, you're welcome to use a flashlight. Sensei Dai has some stuff here to sell. He came up here voluntarily. He's not getting paid at all. And so, please I have my stuff in the car. I'll bring it out here this afternoon probably. So if you want to buy any of that stuff, you can buy that as well. Okay. If there's anyone who has any injuries, okay, please let us know. Both Sensei Dai and myself can work around almost anything. but don't surprise us with a compounded injury. Morning, Steve.
Good morning.
Morning, Paul.
Morning.
So in any case, that's generally how the day will be run, okay? Unless anyone has any questions. There's supposed to be some additional people here, and they asked about seating for people, spectators, and I've said we have 1 to 2 chairs and no leg room. And I think those 1 to 2 chairs are taken, so they can stand outside the door and look in at this point. Anyhow, so that's all I have. We do have a first aid kit here if you need it. Some of us really like to practice first aid, and because we've got to use up this stuff so we can replace it. No. So, don't, and please don't bleed on our masks. The hazmat team up here, they have this huge fire truck and trailer thing, and they hardly ever get to use it. That's how we get our masks washed. But anyway. Anyhow, so that's it. Okay, so I'm going to turn the class over to David, and people haven't registered, please come over here to the corner, or you haven't signed in.
Okay, everybody's just gonna stand up and do a little warm-up exercise here before we get started.
Let's see. How are you today?
A little bit of a problem. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7,
So place the hips. See, you make it. No.
verse.
Glasses.
I'm not going to do my
Shoulders.
Yes.
Verse. Hands on your hips, neck exercise. H, knee, san, shi, go, rock, sich, hach. 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 Right hand down, you saw my count, compress your wrist. Ich, knee, san, shi, go, rock, sich, hach, change. Ich, knee, san, shi, go, rock, sich, hach, change. Right hand goes in, push. Ich, knee, san, shi, go, rock, sich, hach. 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 Sign kneecaps. Change. 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, 10. Now roll your toes each time I count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 8, 10. Right here, now the break falls. Okay, everybody on the right side. My leg out straight. Both foot flat on that. Okay. When you go to the other side, make believe there's an object in front of your feet. Lift your feet up and over that object. Can you demonstrate, Wes? H. That way, okay? All right, so on a count, we're going to flip flop. Are you ready? H. Knee. Up. G. Go. Up. H. Go. Jump. Okay, on your backs. Feet up and up. Hands up across your chest. Each time I count, slap the mat. H. Knee. Up. G. Go. Up. H. Go. Jump. Okay, sitting. Keep your chin down. It's going to make your back round. You roll back. Small part of your back hits the mat. That's when you slap. H. Knee. Tongue. G. Go. Rock. H. Punch. Go. Two. We're going to go up to squatting position. Well, that's since they want us. When we roll back and we come up, we're going to come up looking over our right shoulder. Okay, watch. H. And you notice we're tucking the knee. The hand comes up because when we do our forward rolls, this is how we come up. Okay, then when we go to the other side, knee, we switch. Come up. So you want your feet to go up, kind of float, and then turn your hips as you come down. Okay? Make sure you keep your chin down so make your back round so you don't land flat. Exhale when you go down. H. Knee. Tongue. Chi. Go. Rock. H. Punch. Go. Two. Standing. All you're going to do is go down from squatting and count. H. You can't come up this way. You can tuck the leg, come up, and just pull yourself up that way. Okay? Make sure you're not going to hit the wall, so make sure you have plenty of room. Again, exhale as you go down. Okay, ready? H. Knee. Tongue. Chi. Go. Rock. H. Punch. Go. Two. Everybody line up over there, please. You guys know how to do backward rolls, forward rolls? Okay, let's just do probably 1, 2, 4 rolls. Stay down there and then just go ahead. 4 rolls. Yeah, just cross that. rapper roll, Wes.
Ocean County.
How do you want to do
Hey,
it?
I love the Ocean Council. Thank you.
The idea is the hand that goes out the side is the side of your roll. You want to create space between your shoulder and your neck so that your foot and hand go to the other side. So going up, or put your arm out back this way, you'll stop your roll. Okay? If you can't do it, don't worry about it. Okay? Next, go next.
I'll try it. Might get hurt. Might come on, right? From here to my right?
Yeah, if you're going on your right side, your right foot's back, your hand's out like this. Your left hand and your left foot are going to go between your shoulder and your neck. You're going to sit down and keep your chin tucked.
Sit straight down, don't fall backwards.
Sir,
Sit straight down.
thank you.
There you go. That's nice.
Half a roll.
For the first time ever, that's pretty good.
That was good.
All right, good.
Take it.
Anybody else?
Take it.
Probably the main thing is tilt your head to one side so you're.
Which side are you going to go over? Okay, so tilt your head to the left. Your left hand and your left foot across the shoulder, that goes to your shoulder and your neck.
Yeah, so straight down, kick your foot back. Yeah, good.
Yeah,
Taping jump foot.
yeah, unless you do it my way, I kiss the, I do the other foot.
Do the other foot?
It works both ways.
Sit straight down, don't lean to one side or the other, just sit straight down. And kick your foot down. Yeah, yeah, I felt it.
Actually, it's just straight down.
Yeah. Side breaks too. It's something. People just think about
Okay, everybody have a seat over here. Okay, I'm probably going to use different terminology than you're accustomed to, but I'll use the English translation too. I'm going to build up some things today, but we call this technique where we reverse the hand. Okay, guys, everybody clear with that?
Right.
So I asked one first what they call this, is just twisting the wrist. It's a reverse hand. Okay, what I want to talk about is the principles of this. What we need to do is we need to lock the wrist joint, the elbow joint up, the shoulder joint, the hip joint, the knee joint, down to the foot. If his shoulders are level, his spine is straight, he's on balance. I want to get him off balance. I want to take the control to the shoulder. Not in this sense, but in the sense that I generate the energy and power all the way through here, all the way down to the ground. I'll talk about his part of his body first. So the little finger goes below the bend of the wrist. These three fingers on the base of the thumb. And this thumb here can go on the back knuckle of the ring finger. However, if you look at this way, here's the alignment of my arm. My thumb is going out this way. If you bring your thumb in alignment with the arm, it puts the thumb right here. And it gives a stronger grip. So it also allows you to have room here. If you put your hand down here, you're bridging the wrist and you're defeating the purpose. So we're working on this wrist joint. We're working on this part of the hand right here. So this little finger is going to pull at the same time as the thumb pushes, but we're going to kind of grip here, like this. And I'll talk about this here in a few minutes. The other thing is think about your body as the base of a triangle, and the arms are the sides of the triangle, and the point is the apex. That's where we want our power to go. So I want my energy and power to be here, not out here. Okay? On reverse hand takedowns, we always step forward with the right foot. All the techniques I'm going to teach you today, we start with our left foot forward, our right foot back. Any left-handers in here? Okay. It'd be the opposite. Okay. The idea is we're going to keep our dominant or power side back. Okay, I'm just going to demonstrate this. So if I throw him, okay, that's the power I'm generating. And I'm locking the wrist up here to here to here to here. If you watch what happens, if I don't lock the rest of the body up, we have what we call energy leaks. The energy leak being here. The energy is going that way. It should be going down that way. So I need to lock this up. As I lock this up, this locks up. Now you see what's happening to the foot, it buckles. Okay. The by the same token, I need to make sure I don't have any energy leaks on my behalf. So the energy's coming from the ground through my body. I need to make sure as I turn my hand this way, I'm locking all my body parts up too. Don't do this, and don't do this. My rule is wherever you intercept this hand, that's where the reverse hand takes place. The other thing is, if he's facing this way, when I throw him or take him down, I want to be facing where he is standing. Okay? And the reason for that is because A, it's a tighter circle down, B, we have hidden strikes, and C, we can add something to it. All right? We're not going to quite that far. Okay. So what I want you to do is we'll have you pair up so everybody's not going to run into it, and practice this takedown. You can sit down, I don't care how you do it, but the main thing is generate your power down. Okay, that's what you need to do, not back. And then we're going to build on this a little bit. Okay? So let's pair up with a partner, and we've got. I'm going to pair up with groups of 3. Since they need a 6th degree black belt, it's a 5th degree black belt. He's been with me 25 years. Wes has been 12 years. And this is Sensei Milenkovic. He's training with us. He's a Nidan and Aikikai. He's going for a showdown with me here in November. I'm not trying to change anything you do here. What I'm trying to do is give you something to take with you and add to what you already have. If you like it, use it. If you don't, toss it. It doesn't mean it's me. Okay, I'm here to share knowledge. I'll learn more from you today than you'll ever learn from me. There's more than one way to get to Disneyland. All right? There's different routes, and there's different maps to get different things. So I'm just showing you one way. All right? You can find when I start correlating what we're doing here to the Hawaiian art, that it's very similar. I believe that Aikido is the Do arts. Aikido, Judo, and Karate are a way of life. It's the philosophy side. The practical side is the Aikijitsu, which is the means. Karate Jitsu, the way the means of the empty hand, and Jujitsu, which is the means of flexibility. Not in the sense of flexibility this way, but in the flexibility of the way you move. And how I like to preface this is, I'm kind of jumping the gun here, is if Sensei Watkins throws a punch, okay, first of all, who here has studied Aikido? I've heard you studied Aikido. Okay. What's the definition of Aikido?
I'm not sure, so. It's kind of much like spiritual harmony, I guess.
Harmony with nature.
Right.
Way of harmony. I is the alignment, the key, spirit, do, the way. Okay. Karate do. What's the definition of karate do?
Empty hand.
Way of the empty hand. Okay. What's the definition of judo? Gentle way. But the technical definition of judo is flexible way. All right. In the sense that your body. Okay. So if he throws a punch, I do that. I've done karate do, the way of the empty hand, right? If he throws that same punch, I've done judo, one arm shoulder throw. Agree on that?
Sorry.
If he throws that same punch, I've done Aikido. Agree on that? For those of you who've heard this before, don't give away the If he punches, tell me which one I've done. You're good attack. Tell me which one I've done. Go. Which one of the 3 arts did I do? All of them. So what's that tell you? They're not martial arts, they're teaching methods. I always found them. Okay. All right, so we studied this Kotegaeshi from a punch, but punch. This is not the way people punch today. But this is a good foundation to learn the technique, to learn how the body moves, okay? What I want to do is I never back up. I won't say I never back up. I don't want to back up. What I want to do is as he punches, I want to become part of that attack. I want to, if he's the tornado, I want to get into the center of the tornado, which is the eye, which is the palm part. So I'm going to step off the center line and go with it. So what we're going to do is we're going to shoot this hand in here by the bend of the arm. If you can't see this, I'll switch around. And now as I pivot, I'm going to come to here and I have his arm. You can walk the arm up where you want. I'm going to bring him around, and then I'm going to turn and throw. Okay? So instead of coming out here trying to grab this hand, we got to worry about this one here. I'm going to shoot this right in here, straight in, and when I make my pivot, my hand goes right to his hand, assuming it's still there. Okay? And now I'm going to bring him around. And then before he gets around, this is the principle of the Kotegaeshi, If I bring him all the way around here and then I put this on, it's not going to work. I want to put the brakes on before he comes around. So I put the brake on so he actually runs into his own hand. So we shoot this hand in here, and you get a little strike here of the rib cage. You turn, you bring him around, and before he gets around, then you put it on. All right? Any questions? All right, don't do the number 3 brake falls unless you got room. Go down however you're training to go down. But the whole concept here is our left foot's forward. As he punches, here's my pivot point. Right here. Don't keep this out here and turn this way. This is a rod connected between your elbow and your hips. When my hips turn, everything turns. Then I go. Okay? Okay, that's right. Bring this hand in here. Obviously I can strike. Because I can either do it this with a pivot here if he leaves the hand out, but I talked about if he doesn't leave the hand there, he brings it back, then he's bringing his hand to my hand. So this is, my pivot point's right here, right at the bend of the arm. Coming in this way here. So that when I come around here, I've got this. Whether it's out here or whether it's here, I still have it. Actually, if he brings it back, he helps me because he starts locking up the rest of his body. All right? The other thing that you got to remember, even though this is reversing the hand this way, this technique is designed realistically to hit. All right? Now, what do you think is going to happen if I do this or I do this to his hand? Anybody got any ideas?
Multiple dislocations.
Any other ideas?
It's gonna hurt him.
It's going to hurt him. Okay, I will not tell you something I don't know. I can't tell you there'll be a dislocation. I can't tell you there'll be a wrist break because I've never done it. And as instructors, if you keep doing teaching, be careful what you tell your students. Because if they're under the impression that you can break somebody's wrist and all of a sudden it doesn't break, they're going to come back and say, hey, it didn't break. I will tell you, though, on certain techniques what will happen because I've either seen it happen or I've talked to people. And we have one today I'll be working on where I'll talk about how the muscle here tore. Okay? Yes, there's going to be damage. To what extent, I don't know. All right? We don't know. It depends on the person. Probably if I was to do this young lady over here, yeah, there's going to be a lot more damage than there would be on his wrist. So the idea here again is I don't want to be here. I want to remove, okay, first of all, proper distance equals proper reaction time. We all agree on that? Shit is justice sheet. Last time we had a seminar at Fulmer on good, bad, and the ugly. Anyway, so I don't want to be here, so I want to remove the target. The way I remove the target is by stepping off the center line of the punch. So as he punches, I step off the center line of the punch. That's removing the target. Then what I'm going to do is we never stop anything in this art. We intercept it and we redirect it. If you stop something, you stop the motion. Lack of motion creates resistance. So I have to do a distraction to get the motion going back. So what I want to do is I want to become part of his attack by moving with him. Oh, look. That way. And then at the last minute, when his energy is dissipated, I redirect it. Does that make sense? So it's a lot like, and I'll say this not only because you're here, girls do the martial arts better than the guys do. They always have, they always will. They do everything better than we do. And it's the way it is, okay? It's not going to change, guys. Okay? I've got a little 7-year-old girl that's trained with me. She's been with me 6 months. She's doing stuff on my black belts I haven't even taught her yet. And it's because she's so relaxed and uninhibited in that whole bit. Unfortunately, it's not that way with the guys, but that was figured out there. Okay? Don't let me down now. Okay? So the idea is this could be a hit to the rib cage. All right? But this is going to come to here, and I don't care how far you get with it. The minute he starts coming around, that's when you put the technique on down this way. Now, a couple of philosophies here. I throw this person on the ground. I want him on his side. I don't want him out here. He's on his back. He can use his feet to kick with. He can roll towards me because he got any ground fighting experience, whatever. And the idea is, my philosophy is, unless you're competing in a martial art such as MMA or something like that, then you train for competition. You want to control the person on the ground. That's not our job in the street self-defense. Our job in street self-defense is to stop the attack, and that's where it ends. If you go beyond that, you're no longer the victim. He is. Okay? So, I keep them on his side because I have a knee strike here. Okay? I have a knee strike here. I have a knee strike here, so you're doing. And it also keeps his feet kind of in line so I don't have to worry about him kicking. Okay? And we also have other techniques I'm going to show from here after we do the takedown. So get the person on their side, not their back. Now, if they do end up on their back, You know, you can get a little bit creative. He brings, bring this up here, lock this up here like this. He brings the other foot up, come around here and gives me the other hand. I'll walk him up. Okay, and there we go. Okay, so the idea is don't give him the opportunity to kick you. The other thing is when you throw, I usually end up, I keep my shin between his belt line and his arm so that I can drop the knee here. I keep this knee here so I can hit here. This gives me what we call Budoshin, horse stance. This is not horse stance. If he pulls, over I go. Thrust your hips forward. You can pull all day once. Okay? The minute I lean my head over this way, it's like a big redwood going over. No pun intended. So the idea here, I want to lock him up. Because once we get to here, we're going to lock the fingers up. Or we'll lock something up. We'll come up down here and do, you know, any locks that you have. We're going to touch on finger locks today too. So my point is once you take him down on the guys, on the arm, get him on his side. Keep your shin here. One of the finishes we use is we'll come down here. All right? Okay, please, 2 more minutes on this, we'll move on. Any questions about that principle there? Okay, on. Okay, this is a kotegaishi reverse hand. Everybody can see that. Okay. This is also a reverse hand. It's all it is just I'm using the opposite hand. So let's take this from a wrist grab. I'll show this both ways. He's pretty strong that way and this way. Kind of strong this way and this way. Where he's weak is when you turn your hand this way. Look what happened, right? Hold tight. So, turn, comes out, okay? Turn, okay, but now what we're going to do, just relax in one place, okay? Here, we're going to take this, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to step off to the side this way, so when I grab this, it's going to go right into his hip. Take it down. Now, is there an energy leak there? Not really, but what I'm doing, there would be an energy leak if I was to go off the side this way and the arm goes this way. All the energy is going uphill. I want to take the energy from here, all the way to here to the hip. And this way it's cutting in here. Then I can cut down that way. Turn, step off the side, jam it, then push down. Good. Now the common mistake most people make on this is they do this. That's not good. Okay. Wherever the hand is, wherever you capture the hand is, that's where it. Why do I step off? I got to worry about that hand there. Okay? Or a kick. So I'm going to come off here a little bit harder. Now I can jam this right in there, peel this out, and take it down that way. Lock it in the out. All right? So be a little bit different pressure on the wrist. Here, let's try that for a minute. Why do you think this works better kneeling than does standing?
Because you're grounded.
Pulling him further down.
I ground my son. I don't ground myself.
He's already off balance reaching down.
That's right. What's the other part?
Lower center of gravity.
Lower center of gravity. All right. So, is my center higher than his?
Yes.
Because it's belt. So when you come in here, drop your center. Use your hips. Okay. On all the techniques we do, we want to use our hips. We're pushing. So this one here, and I'm going to preface this. Would anybody stand here and let him, or let somebody punch you in the face? You get out of the way, right? So why would you let them grab your wrist? He grabs the wrist, motion stops. What did I say about lack of motion? Creates resistance. So what I want to do is, just as he's grabbing that hand, it's very slow motion. Slowly I step out of consolidate. Remember that, huh? Okay. Turn. Sucker him into it and down. Okay? Don't let him grab. Give him a taste of the carrot. Become part of his attack. Alright? Step off the side. Let him run into his own elbow and down. Okay? Try that, please. Let's move along something else here.
Yeah,
okay. I believe this technique is probably one of the most effective techniques we can use against any type of attack. A punch, a grab, attack from behind, even on the ground. One thing that I want to talk about here is, you know, the hands, when they're open, they bend very easy. You know, it's very forgiving. But you get that person every once in a while likes to challenge you. and they lock their wrist up, okay? And you can't turn it. There's no way. It won't bend that way, it won't bend this way, it won't bend that way. All you have to do is to turn the arm. Once you turn the arm, the wrist bends. All right? That's all it is. So if he grabs, if you come in here with a punch and you meet with this, obviously you can go to plan B, all right? Everybody has their own plan B. But the idea is, instead of trying to take the wrist this way and over, just turn it. And then right there, that's where it breaks. That's all it is. Okay? Okay, what I want to talk about now, I'm going to go into a little fun thing here for you guys to show you the I wouldn't use this on the street. I don't believe in going down on the ground with this person because we might have friends and associates. So let's suppose I come in here and I do my, okay? Oh, just down. I drop down on the ground here and I lock him up. You hear me say? So you can use your leg locks here too. That's one of the reasons why, like I say, I want to make sure that when you take the person on the ground, you can drop down here to your arm bars. We do a finger lock here this way. I saw somebody do that. We use the tendon finger here because it's very tender here. You can do all kinds of locks that you want, or you can come down here and do your judo techniques, whatever you want to do, or just bring this over here and lock it up like that. So you've got different things you can do. Would I ever go on the ground with somebody like that? No. Competition? Yes. That's the mentality you got to think about. Okay? Muscles are for pushing, bones are for, muscles are for pulling, bones are for pushing. So, I don't want to give him his energy back. It's better to give than what?
Receive.
Receive. So if I give him his energy back, he's back on balance. I want to take it. I want to be SpongeBob. Follow that, that's SpongeBob, okay. So, let's talk about now what's going to happen. After the break, I'm going to talk about the difference between Aikijitsu and the Hawaiian art. But let's say that I get to this point here. Remember we had this technique where I come in here and he pulls that hand back and I can't get it. Now I'm going to go to plan B, and that's to come in here, do Uranagi. So if I come in here like this, pulls his hand back, I'll go with it. Come in here. Now with the Uranagi, what we're doing is we're going between the shoulder, side of the neck. If I keep my hand here and I walk forward, I'm going to use muscle, shoulder, you'll feel it because of strain. You want to keep this hand in front of you at all times. This side of the hand is going to come up along the side of the neck and you're going to turn it. Because I want his head that way. Where my fingers point is where he's going to go. If I have my hands up this way, he goes up. If I have my hands here, he goes down. And I want to step through. I can either go backwards or I can step in this way and take his hips. So if I come in here and I do this, and he decides he's going to capture my arm, okay, and then here again, if he starts to come with his punch, here's your hand right here. And it is right down this way. Taking the balance. Okay. This technique was designed to take the helmet on the samurai and snap the neck. But what we're doing is we're coming in here, it's like this. Hit with the side of the bone here. Like this. See how his shoulders are? Once this hand's free here, it's going to go right here. Everybody watch The Lion King? Circle of Life? Here's the circle of life right here. Okay? This is no good. Right here. My weight's forward. What else can I do from here, guys? Leg throw. That's plan C. Okay? So, I come in here and he pulls the hand back. I come in here. I can do my Uranagi. Okay? And the reason I have you do the right foot going forward on the Kotegashi or this, okay, Kotegashi. If I take him down, I do Kotegashi here, put the right foot forward, is so I can do my roll. If I want to take his arm with me, I can do it. Same thing on the Uranagi. Come in here, down this way. Except when I throw, I don't stand here. I come to here. So I see the top of his head. Because when we freestyle, especially if you work with Sensei Hayes, you go down this way, you stay here, he'll grab your leg. He's a leg man. So the idea is, come in here, step through. You need to walk, come around this way. So he has to get up. If he gets up, he has to find you. So Uranagi, up, here. hand to the back, because you touch the back, it kind of does this, and then just straighten it, and then all right. On this technique, I need everybody to be throwing that way. All right, what's back here, and he's just fully charging me, and I just that's the clothesline, right? Because the arm is out straight. His neck, the head stops here, but his feet go the other way. All right. That's different than bringing this. So instead of doing this, we're coming in here. We're meeting in halfway. Okay. If I've got some guy that's going to run at me, I have a choice. I can either back up, which I wouldn't do. I can go off to the side, or I can change his thought pattern. He starts running towards me, I run towards him. I'll just clock him. Okay? So you want to meet him halfway. That's part of the thing. Okay. Going back to the Kodegash. Let's say we get to this point here, and we meet with resistance. We can't throw. Okay. Come in here and do the Rinagi. There it is. So I get over here, start doing my technique, he stops. Okay, we'll come right in here and go. All right. What else can I do from here? What else can I do from here? What else can I do from here? You got all kinds of things you can do. Agreed? Okay, so the technique I want you to work on here, set him up for this. You already got him half lean over and step in. All right? Oh, 10 minutes. Good reaction.
Loaded question.
Someone young.
Who's got really good reactions?
Are you going to do the paper drop test?
Hey, girl.
Yeah. Well, I'll use it.
Sorry.
All right. All right. Boy, I'm not going to show her. This is the most painful thing I'll have with this.
Okay.
All right. You right or left hand?
Right hand.
Okay. Push your right hand over that. No, I won't. And I'm going to put my hand above your hand. I say now, you got the paper now. Now, also, right here. Now. Gotcha. That's 2 out of 3.
Okay.
You are. Now. Okay. Now. I'm sorry. Okay, I said now, right? Everybody saw that, right? Okay, now. Okay. When I move my hand, when you see me move my hand, go for the paper. You know why he's able to react faster?
He's waiting for now. Before.
There's no auditory process.
Translation,
It's a
yeah.
distraction. Okay. He asked me a question here. I think it was earlier.
Thank you, sir. No, sir. I volunteer for all those.
He asked me a question about somebody locking, the grip locking for you. Your first name?
Byron.
Byron. Wait for the camera, Byron. Grabs this way. How he pulls in. How can you lock this wrist up and do the? I'm going to tell you. Okay. You can't. That's how you go. You left or right handed? Right. Okay. Can't get this locked up this way. All right. Where's the weakest point? Right here. Elbow. Okay. So what I did is I came in here and moved the elbow this way, came up around there. But right. You right? What did I do?
Candy bar quiz.
Distraction.
Hit him in a non-vital area.
Yeah. So, I'll tell you something. If I ever had to come up against somebody, I heard about this actually happen. Thank you very much. I'm a professional observer. That comes from my law enforcement career. If somebody comes after me and they've got pierced eyebrows, the nose ring, that's the first thing I'm going to go for. I guarantee you that's going to slow down what their thought pattern is. I mean, you just go for it. You got to do what you got to do. Okay. Okay. Wes. Hey. Okay. Your ring and I came here again. We did from the Kodegash. We came in here. This technique can be done from the. I'm sorry. Okay. If he throws a punch with this hand here, I can knock it down, come in here, and do this. We commonly refer to it as our right hand or our sword hand. It's our sword hand. And actually what happens is I come up here, knock it down, and come in that way. Okay? However, if he throws a punch with this hand first, And then he throws a punch with the other hand. Yeah, I'm gonna have to back up. But the reason I'm backing up is because I want to create some distance. So I come here off the side. I don't step back that far because if we're right here and he, does this and comes in here, and I don't back up, I'm gonna get hit. Okay? So what I want to do is I want to, as he comes over this way, draw him, get some distance to draw him. Now he's got to take a step in to come to me. That's when I come over here and I come to my throat. So my hands are up, because I have a barrier between the two of us now. Okay, if my hands are down here, my hands are in my pockets, I lose my weapons. So I keep my hands up here, and he starts to throw that punch. Now, the question's probably going to come up, why don't I use this hand to knock this one down? This checks his hand. 1, 2. See? So, 1, 2, step in. 1, 2, step in. What am I doing? I'm stepping off the center line of the attack. 1, 2. All right, so try that. Look, I keep my hand this way. What I want to do is lay my hand on top so I can track his hand if he pulls it back. If I do this, he pulls his hand back. I don't have very much control. Here, I can follow it. I'm not going to try, if he pulls it back, I'm not going to try and do this. I'm going to follow it, okay? Because then I can redirect it. Okay? So, when he punches, get some distance. Now he's got to cross step in to get that punch because he, just say where, punch where he can't reach, right? Now he's got a big nose, but he still can't get that far. So as he starts to step in to punch, that's when I step off the center line and come up here. Now, if you're in too close, this way, and we talked about my body going here, okay, modify this a little bit. You ever hear the song, Put Your Head on My Shoulder? So the idea here is, as he punches, get some distance, come in here. Okay, now I'm too far to do the Rimanagi, right? But I can put his head on my shoulder. I can't go that way, but we can go this way. All right? Oh, okay, 10 more minutes, please. Got 10 more minutes, we'll take a break. I need 2 people up here who knows how to do the leg sweep, also for driving. Pick somebody to partner. Take a partner. Fine? Okay. I want to show you. You're going to set him up. Let's do a roundhouse punch. Set him up and stop before you throw. Okay. Okay. Whoa, stop. We're not talking. With the lead forward. Okay. He's off balance. Can we agree on that? He's got better balance. What would happen if he had come in straight up this way? What would his counter be to that technique?
Also Hagari.
Same thing, right? So, when you're coming in for a Rimanagi, don't come in up. You're stepping in. Thank you, sir. You come in for a Rimanagi, don't come in here and expect to do it this way. It's not going to work. You got to have your weight forward here. You got to get him off balance. Now, spine straight. Or, I'm sorry, shoulders level, spine straight. He's on balance. Once his shoulder goes down, he's off balance. Puts his head on my shoulder. So the idea here now, I have 2 options. I can go back that way. His counter would be to step back. No, step straight back, step straight back, step straight back. Now I can't take him that way, right? But I can take him this way. So you're better if you step around behind him. Okay? So the idea is here, this is my sword. You notice the angle of my arm here. If he was to strike, it's going to glance off. If I put it here, it's not going to glance off. It's going to come right in here. So I'm knocking this to the side. I'm not knocking it down. Shortest distance between 2 points in a straight line. I'm going to come right in here and hit him right here. Yeah, that one. Okay? All right. Fixed partners. Stand fixed partners, please. Ready? Hey! And we'll take about a 5-minute break, then we'll resume. I'd like to tell you a little story. I had a student that trained with me for a number of years, and they weren't quite sure whether the techniques that we showed them would work, and so they went out into a remote area, and up in the tree was this tiger. That's a story, right? And so he struck his pose, you know, he wanted to see if his techniques work. And the tiger looked at him, the tiger jumped out of the tree, he sidestepped, the tiger ran off. He said, nothing this. So he goes back to the dojo, he starts practicing his punches and his kicks. Goes out to the forest again, finds the same tiger, gets in an exotic pose, tiger looks at him, jumps at him, steps off the side, tiger goes run. He says, nothing to this. He goes back to the dojo, starts practicing his punches and kicks. Goes back for the third time, squares off the tiger, tiger squares off, tiger jumps out of the tree, leaps aside, tiger changes his position, lands on top, and gun pins, ready to take that swipe, and the guy said, hold on a second, I gotta know why. The first 2 times I was able to evade you, but the third time, you caught me. Tiger smiles, it's very simple. While you were back in the dojo practicing punching and kicking, I was practicing shorter leaps. Okay, let me talk about the correlation between, first of all, I said Aikido is a way of life. It's the way you live your life, peace, harmony, and philosophy. And I believe that for any martial art, especially Aikido, to be in harmony with nature, it's got to adapt to the culture. In Japan, it's their culture. They study it. They're expected to study it. Here, it's a recreational activity for a lot of people. So we, as instructors, sometimes in order to keep our doors open, have to market our particular product that we have. But we have borrowed that training and that system from another culture. So I don't claim to teach a traditional art. But I had an 8-year-old student say, yes, you do. You teach a traditional art in your philosophy. So the concept that I want to talk about is Aikido is, the predecessor of Aikido was Daitoru Aikijutsu. Aikido, Judo, Karate are all tied into Daitoru Aikijutsu because of the connections between Gishin Funakoshi, Jigoro Kano, Oishiba Sensei. They had students that intertrained in the dojos. They had other instructors that trained and all that stuff. And then what happened was you have the art of Lua. Lua is, anybody been to Hawaii? Anybody ask where the Lua is? What do they tell you? Restroom. Bathroom, right. Okay. Lua is a Hawaiian martial art that to this day under kingdom law is forbidden to be taught. But there are people out there, specifically the one I train with, he teaches his family art, which is the Kaibalu Lua system, and that's not forbidden. He's teaching his family art, so that's how he teaches it. That's mine, just let it go.
Sounded like mine.
Huh?
It sounded like mine, Sensei.
Oh, okay. So anyway, the art of Lua basically is a bone-breaking, joint-dislocating art, okay? And what happened was the warriors were taught the chants and the hula, more or less, by the women to distract their opponents. And then they would come in. And they had different weapons and stuff. I unfortunately didn't bring the weapons up there, but the thing I want to point out is one of the weapons that they used in the art of Lua was the paddle, the oar for the canoe. Everybody knows how that's shaped, right? It was used as a shovel, it was used as a shield, but if you look at your hand, it's in the shape of an oar also. And so I'm going to point the correlation there. But I was able to tie in the Daitoru Aikijutsu and related arts into the Hawaiian Lua system because Okazaki Sensei, who came up with Danzanryu Jiu-Jitsu, studied Hawaiian Lua with a Lua instructor and asked permission to put the Lua techniques into his Danzanryu system. He was told he could do it, but he said don't use the Hawaiian names, and only the people who study Lua will know what they are. So you have the tie-in of Okazaki Sensei with, I believe it was Jigoro Kano. So there's the influence of Aikijutsu all the way down through Kano and into Danzanryu, and then it filters down. And Lua was only taught to the Ali or the royalty, and Alohi's on his mother's side was royalty. When I started studying with Alohi, he kept saying, he watched my DVDs, he said, a lot of your techniques look very similar to what we do. So he said, you've been studying Lua. And I said, well, maybe you've been studying Aikido. No. So what I'm going to show you here is the little subtlety differences, and I'm going to refer to different animals and stuff that are used in the Hawaiian arts. And we'll experiment around with it and see what you think. Okay, in the Rimanagi technique, if you notice when we came in here, and I came in here like this, and how my hands are open and all this stuff, and I come in here and I do this. Okay. The difference between this and the Lua art is that we keep the fingers closed. So now we've created the wings of the Ide, hawk. So now I'm using my wings. Okay, as he comes in, I use my whip. Hawks don't have fingers. The eagles don't have fingers. So the only difference is that we are using this. Then there's the wings of the butterfly, the play hula. Butterfly goes like this, right? So if he does the same punch, then you have a, I don't know, some martial arts, they have a strike this way. Remember that?
No,
What's it called?
Crane.
Crane. Hawaiian arts is called mahi mai, tail of the dolphin. Coming up underneath the chin. Okay. You know, a technique like this. What's it called? What do you call it?
I show.
What?
I show, second.
Okay. This is called evil, squid, tentacles of the squid. Okay. Now, this technique we did this morning here, remember I told you to bring this over here? This is the teeth of the shark, the mono. So you've been doing Lua today, as well as Aikido, okay? And the arts are very similar and very, much related to each other. But again, it's the teeth of the shark, the wings of the hawk. Then you have the tail, which does Lua this way. And then you have
The bear?
the bear.
Claws of the
Yeah,
bear.
claws of bear. Okay. We have a technique. You've probably seen something like this where if he reaches in, we come up here, and you hit right here. Okay, on this one though, what we do, first of all, a cat, if you push on the paws of the cat, the claws come out. That's popoki. The pea, the bear, claws don't come out. So we're hitting with the pad of the bear, but we're also driving that thumb into the rib cage. So this technique here, we're using the tail of the dolphin, pads of the bear, tail of the dolphin here, squid, hawk. If he does a punch and we do a shark bite, that's the bite of the shark. So there's a lot of similarities in that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to teach you a form this morning, and then we're going to break it down and let you try some of the techniques. One of the techniques, for instance, that I borrowed from Kempo. Anybody here study Kempo? Okay. One of the techniques they have in Kempo is called wings of devastation. The person comes in, they do this, 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 and they do this. Okay? So I took that move and added it to our techniques because from here, this move right here, I have reverse hand, I have one arm shoulder throw, I have Rinagi, I have Shionagi, multitude techniques. Movements are self-defense movements. All right. So everybody spread out here, face front. I'm going to run you through a form here. Okay, we start with our feet here on the side. And the salutation, I'll face you this way so you can see. The salutation is your hands come up in front of you this way, like you're going to pray, but you're going to open that book. And as you open that book, you step out into Kibidachi stance. And as you land in Kibidachi stance, your hands get down this way. So now you're just done the haka. You know what the haka is? Hands come up this way, you come out here and land this way down. A lot of my youth students, they do this. They come out here, they do this, and they go, ow, that hurts. I said, yeah, but what you got to do is dissipate it. So you dissipate it by landing here. So as you land, you hit, it dissipates the strike. You land with bruised thighs. Okay. So, we start out here. All right, our first move is going to be, bring my back, is you're going to bring your left foot to your right. So now you're bow-legged. Okay. Your hands, your hands are going to come back to back. You're going to come up this way, keeping your elbows in. You're going to step in with your left foot and hit. One. Okay? All right, face swings in. Staying where you are, you're going to bring your left hand down in front of your groin flat. Actually, Paul, you face that way in west, where you got face this way so you see. So left hand comes down, right hand's gonna come up underneath the chin, fingers closed. Next move, right hand comes down the groin, fingers come across the face, thumb tucked. Now you're gonna do is what's called a lowly. It's a change of steps. You're not gonna step in. All you're gonna do is bring your left foot where your right is, change. And step in, bring an ugly. Wings of the hawk. Okay, now, left hand. You're going to make a circle, and you're going to turn, and you're going to step back. You're what we call a forward stance. Okay, from here, keep your weight on your front foot. You're going to do a front snap kick and step in short. Okay, watch me first. Next move, left hand comes out this way. You're going to turn, and you're going to go this way. So now you're in a forward stance facing 6 o'clock, we'll call it. Okay. Now everybody can turn around and watch me. You're going to step back with the left foot. You're going to turn. Right hand comes, makes a fist to the hip. Left hand pushes down. You're going to drop down into Budoshin horse stance. Drive the right hand punch down. The left hand comes right up on here, and you key out. All right. Look straight up. Right hand comes up. Left hand shoots out in front. You're still going to keep it up. Left hand grabs the back of the neck. Elbow strike. Right hand, rich hand strike the neck. Left hand this way. Push down the neck. So your palm of your right hand is going to come face up. Palm of the left hand's down. Draw your fist back and punch again. Okay, now, this direction here. Everybody lost? Okay. There's a punch coming in here. What we're going to do is we're going to cross our hands over and we're going to go into what we call back stance. And grab that punch. Put your left hand to your hip. You're going to pull with your right hand, pulling the punch down here and punching into the ribs. This way, not this way, this way. Open the hand up, fingers down, come up along the back. This is going to go in front of his face. You're going to pull down and lift up. So now we're here. Okay, now we have an attacker coming in this way. He's grabbing my wrist. Here's where we're going to come in this way. Okay, step back with the right foot. And step here with the right foot again. Okay, now watch. Here's what I'm going to do. One before it, right? Come up this way here. Turn. Okay, now this is where it's going to get tricky. All right. Right hand turns palm up. Left hand turns palm up. You're going to shift your weight to your right leg. And you're going to keep your right hand down, your finger pointing down this way. The left hand comes up this way, like you're holding a tray. Okay. The left hand is going to come over and shoot the right hand strike to the midsection. It's going to draw back. As it draws back to the left hip, the right hand comes in as a rich hand. I transfer away to my left hip. What was that? My phone? Oh, I'm sorry. Sound like it's 7. All right. Right hand comes palm up. You're going to pull it into you at the same time. Left hand comes in and does a strike on the side of the head. Turn left hand palm up, open thumb up. Slide it down. Right hand goes to the neck. Push down on the neck. Step in with the left foot. Punch to the right and here. And then recover. Okay, let's see. We'll show you what it is. Okay.
Let me get to a different angle.
I'm standing here and he comes in. I do my. Come in here and do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now the attack's coming over here, he grabs my wrist. Lock his wrist up, I come over here, I lock it down, I do a front snap kick. Now the attack's coming over here, it's going to be a punch. I turn, look. Down here, and I punch. Now the attack comes in this way, I do an inside Craig lock. Roll your foot down. Punch. Now the attack's coming in this way with a punch. That's what I'm trying to do right there. Okay, this comes up here, down here. Now there's an attacker coming in here, grabbing my wrist. Now there's an attacker coming in this way with a front strike. Now there's a puncher coming in this way. And that's what you're doing. Okay? So, what I want to do is I want to take those 8 moves from that form. It's called hula. Hula, opohaku, koa, valu. I was asked about almost 2.5 years ago to create a form for our school by my instructor. And I came up, hula means form, pohaku means rock, koa, warrior, because that's my Hawaiian name. Pohaku. Valu means 8, because it's 8 different directions, 8 different techniques. I'm working on a second one now. So what we're going to do is we're going to go through these 8 moves, and I'm going to teach them to you. All right? So the first one, and again, I want to emphasize, we're giving you a bunch of tools to use here. If you're going to pound a nail on the wall, you're not going to use a sledgehammer. Use the right tool. So anytime you're using self-defense, you've got to use the right tool for the situation. And I'll talk about that a little bit later. So if he's reaching in here, I'm going to come up here, knock this up here. I'm not going to do this. It's going to be like a flower opening. Here, hit. All right? Then what I'm going to do is drop the left hand down to protect my groin, come up underneath the chin. Then I'm going to drop the right hand down, come across the face with a squid. And now I'm going to step in and hit down. That's the first move. So when it's done, it would look like this. Okay? Do I have to do all the moves of the technique? No. But that's the technique we're going to work on. Okay, so wherever the part, I'm going to walk you through this. Let's have one person in the back here, one person facing that way. Okay, thank you. Lua Hikua. Lua is the martial art. Hikua means takedown. So when we're talking about a Lua Hikua, we're talking about a Lua takedown. Okay. If you're facing this way, left foot forward, right foot back. If you're facing that way, left foot forward, right foot back. Okay, if your back is that way, put your hands out like you're going to grab your partner's shoulders. Okay. If you're facing this way, what you're going to do is you're going to bring the backs of your hands together. You're going to come up, and you're going to shuffle in and hit the ribs. So you come up, hit. Okay, now, thumbs are digging into the ribs, pad of the hand, which is the head, are hitting here. All right? That's the first move. Okay. Next move is to drop the left hand down in front of the groin, come up underneath the chin with this part here, the mahi-mahi, dolphin, tail and dolphin. Drop the left hand down, the right hand down in front of your groin. Keep the thumb next to your hand, fingers here. This is Ihe squid. Okay, now what you're going to do, you should already be a little bit off the side. You're going to change stances. So you're going to bring your right foot forward and come in with the wings of the hawk. Ihe. Sorry. Now, everybody should be on the ground. Just like your Rimanagi we did this morning. Let's try it again. All right, first move, come up underneath the arms, hit. Second move, hit the ribs. Third, left hand goes down, right hand comes up underneath the chin. Four, fingers across the face. Change stance, come in. Now. I'm going to walk you through all these moves, and then we'll switch and have the other person do it. Okay. The next one is your partner's facing you, and they're going to take their right hand and grab your right wrist. So what you're going to do is you're not going to stand in front of this person. You're going to step off to your left, and you make a circle here, but you're going to lay your hand on top of theirs. Come over here, and keep your arm kind of bent at an 90-degree angle, and take them down. Okay, put your weight on your left foot. Remember that backward roll we did this morning? Okay. What you're going to do, and I don't want you to hit your partner in the stomach. Bring your short snap kick and put down like this in the right position. Your partner's gonna fall back. Okay. All right, so, again, cross wrist grab, step off the side, take down, front snap kick.
Cross wrist grab. Here.
Good. All right, now, the next move is, this person is coming in with a face punch. And what you're going to do is this. Not this. Wings of a butterfly are very delicate. Very relaxed. Okay? But I'm going to bring them back with me. So I'm SpongeBob. Okay? I'm drawing that energy in. I'm taking it back. It doesn't require any strength. But I'm hitting this at the bend of the arm. I'm hitting the back of the hand here, pulling this down here so there's a connection here, stepping back and turning. All right? Try that. Very easy.
Here.
Drop your hips, step back to the left foot and turn. Good, good, good. Let me show you something real quick. Watch out, please. Watch out. Okay. If he throws the punch here and I do this, we're on the same level. I want to, very easy, very light, drop your hips. Okay, let's take it. Good. Good. Nice, nice, All right, so first one we did, we came in here, here, and second one we came across wrist grab this way, take down kick. Next one we did a punch coming this way, so we're following this. See, here. That's why I put the hand out here. So I'm facing this way, the attack's coming in this way. I come in here, and I'm facing him forward, it just comes in here. Okay. The next one now is a face punch. He's doing an inside parry block, strike the arm. I'm grabbing the back of his head. We're not going to do this, and we're going to pull this into that. So what we do is we pretend we're pulling his head in by doing that. Here, sorry. Okay. The next move is this. Okay. Remember the paddle, the oar? That's what that crook's used for. Or in this way. So inside parry block, strike the arm, grab the neck, hit, hit. I'm sorry, push this down this way. Roll it down the front. Pull up on the side, close your distance, and punch. I teach a vertical punch. It comes from
Station Rio.
no, it's another Tong Soo Do, I think it is. I don't teach this way because people tend to do this. And I saw a guy in the first Ultimate Challenge get his wrist broke. He came down and went bam, like that, broke his wrist. So okay, it's like sawing. And the reason I like this is because no matter what your height is, sorry. Okay, I can punch here and I can punch here. I can punch here and I can do that. So it's versatile this way. And I feel it's stronger. It's like taking a handsaw and punching this way. So I teach that punch. This one here is designed when basically when you make contact to twist and bite the skin. This one will also do more rib damage this way than this one. So if you cant it a little bit, you can hit more ribs. So here, again, if you turn this at the point of contact here and drive it back that way, the idea is that you grab the skin and bite it, okay? Of course, everybody wells himself up on the beach, you know, it just slides off. So here, this punch, basically, when we come in here, we'll come in and punch this way, and it's up in like that. And the idea is to drive this punch all the way through. Okay? So that's the punch I use. So what am I doing? Oh, okay. So we're doing an inside parry block, wings of the hawk. Okay? Wings. Elbow. Wings. Down. And punch. Punch comes from the hip, not out here. All right, so let's try that. Hard to the patience. Okay, this one now, he's throwing a punch. We're going to cross this over here. We're going to step out to the left here. And I'm going to grab this. This is the mount, teeth with the sharp. This hand draws back. I'm going to aim for right here. So don't step out here and expect to reach it. Go in at an angle. Cross here, bite, step here, and again, my job is to go that way, right here. Once I get you to turn, this comes up along the back, squid, tentacle, down. This is what we were talking about here, okay? I'm going to take this hand and I'm going to knock this down here, drive that knee to the side of the neck here, and then when I come down here, I can right down that way. So, here, like that. Use your hips, come up, down. Oh yeah! That way. All right? Try it. Listen. Next one is grabbing my wrist, cross wrist. Now again, eagles, hawks don't have fingers, so you have to keep fingers together. So I'm making this turn this way. Keeping the hands together. Both circle. Come down this way here, use the wings to capture, bring him around, come up this way, use your wings here, and step through this way. All right? And once you get here, come on here. So don't think about you got fingers. Think your fingers are glued together. Okay, try that. Okay, next one is a one-arm shoulder throw. He's coming for a front strike. The wings come up this way, coming here like this, turn, and down. So it's not like your traditional one-arm shoulder throw where you come in here, come up here, and do this. Because again, eagles don't have what? Hands. Claws, but not on their wings. So this hand shoots in, this one shoots under, you turn, like you're wiping your forehead. You step back, make the connection, and turn. All right? If you can't take this fall, do spin out or what you have to do. All right? Get a group try it. Okay, this is the fun one. All right. The punch is coming in, so what I'm doing is what we call straight here and doing what we call a leg block. In Hawaiian art, it's called a leg block. Why? Because I'm laying my hand on top of his. Okay? Notice these are all empty-handed strikes. So I'm stepping off the line of attack. I'm not changing the direction of his power. It's going that way. All I'm doing is blending with it this way. Okay? This hand doesn't stay here. It's protecting this, and it's also protecting if he decides to pull the hand back, because then I can go into my Rinagi. But this stays here momentarily. What's happening now is this is going to come over the top and do a knife hand strike to the midsection. Immediately after that strike takes place, the left hand is going to draw back and the right hand is going to come in here and do a ridge hand strike. Then I'm going to come up here with this hand and capture his arm. At the same time I do that, this is going to strike. Okay? Turn this over, open it up, slide it down to the arm, take this hand here, put it down here, there's your rotary throw. Down. Okay? So, here. Any questions?
Yes. The palm hand, I'm assuming it goes beside the head, where you not being so gentle.
Okay.
Yes, okay, thank you.
So I'm trapping the arm, because if I do this, he's going to go that way. I'm trapping the arm. So it depends on how much I smack him. Maybe it might just be like that. But it's a drive through, come in here and come down this way. All right, listen, that's nice. Okay. This movement again is like a flower opening up and see. So keep your elbows in tight. Don't go like this, okay? So the first move, he's coming in here, up, hit, and you notice my foot stepped off the side here. under here, here, and then step in. All right? Listen, admit. Cross wrist grab. Lock it up. Both sides. One step here. He grabs. Lay your hand. Don't grab. If you grab now, it's too rigid. Just trap it here. Lay it. In here. Very simple. Okay? I'm sure a lot of times the question comes up, you get the person blocked up here, okay, and I want to use this. And I can't move it down. Right? Yes, sir. Okay. What I did is readjusted his center. I'm in here, I'm trying to do this, it's not working. So I did momentarily as I went like this, I came back into it and went out. Same thing holds true here. If you've got this locked up here, like this. You try and do this, it doesn't work. Same thing. All right. Same thing if I get here, and this locks up here, you go to something else, right? All right. So you always have to have options. With us, it's options. With her, it's prerogatives. You know what prerogative is, right? Yes? You know what a woman's prerogative is? Do you know what a woman's prerogative is? Okay, good. All right. These crosswise. Okay, the next one. The punch is coming in. This is the one where you're doing an outside parry block coming on the inside of the arm here with the wing to the butterfly. Stepping back here. Down. Ideally, what I want to do is to draw this arm into my chest so that when I step back, it moves with me and I turn. Okay, let's try. So now is the inside parry block. He's punching, you're coming in here, striking, grabbing the neck, hitting, here, 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 turn over this way, push down. Okay. What gets him to turn on this is taking the neck, heavy arm down this way and driving the arm that way. If you just do this, he's going to spin. So, here, down, and punch. All right?
From a three-point of view, though, if you're actually hitting full force, his head's going to be going way back. And his body's... No?
Not if your hand's behind it.
Mine just goes straight down.
Oh, that's right.
Two forces.
Yeah, that's why I'm hitting my elbows to make sure. And I have the last technique I'm going to show you is the street version of this. Okay. That's where we're going. Okay, let's. Right. Oh, okay.
Awesome. Height is there.
That's an attack. Okay, so we. This is what we just did. Right? Yeah. Okay. Now the attack's coming in from this direction. Oh, I'm sorry. He's going to throw the punch. We're going to sidestep in 45 degrees and grab with the teeth of the shark. Come on. Fist comes here. Punch comes right through here. You notice how I'm turning my hip when I punch? And the hand is going to open up, stay in contact, come right across here, come down this way, and lift up and stay with him. Okay? Knock this hand down, knee strike to the neck. Take this hand here, come down here, and just drive that straight down there. Okay. So the hands are up here, cross, grab. Oh, sorry, not you that time. You. Up here and down. And then here. All right, let's do the street version of this technique. Okay. The movement is the same here, but when I do this, my next move is to yes. And then I'm going to step in. Okay. So each move feeds off the other. Can I do it if he throws the left hand first? Yes. So the idea is I'm either going to go, if he penetrates my defense through the hand, I do an inside parry block. If he goes to the outside, I do an outside. And with this one here, the play of the rule, we did an outside parry block. You didn't know you were doing it. You do the same thing with your koigashi, outside. So this one's inside. Here, hit. Turn your hips, because he's going that way. I want him to go in the same direction. Hold this down and twist it. This is the bite of the shark. Mama. Step in here, hit. Okay? So, here, hit, turn immediately. Now, let me point out something. If his left foot is forward, and we're in close this way, and he does the punch, and I do my move here, it's a long way to get to that leg. So my rule is you take the leg closest to you. Now, how do I get him to step into me? I go back a little bit. Look, there it is. Here, I'm sorry. And in. Now I'm doing a hook, not a sweep. The difference between a sweep and a hook is a sweep comes calf to calf, heel comes up off the ground. I'm hooking right in here. It's kind of a variation of Osotogari. If you really want to get nasty, you do Osoto Otoshi. And you take it from here down. If you want to get nastier, you know, sweep, heel, right there. The calf. That's the pool, the bear. The bear. So, again, here. Pull this down, get him off balance. And here. Hook. We'll show you a variation in a second. Do this. Listen. Grab, try it, do about 5 times each and switch. Version of this. Okay. And I want you to be very careful on this. You'll see why. And I'm going to kind of talk about something. Same movement here, strike, but now what you're going to do is you're going to come to here, this way. Take it. 1, 2. Be very careful on the neck. I don't want anybody to get their neck worse. So here, hit, strike, right under. Yeah. Now, I want to talk about cause and effect. Oftentimes I see in schools where, for instance, if he throws a punch and I come in here and I do this, the person stands there. Okay? Kind of act a little bit. It's called cause and effect. Okay? So when I'm punching this way, he's going like he's getting hit because that's what's going to happen. Okay? So when you come in here and you do a punch, act a little bit because that's what's going to happen out on the street. What's not going to happen on the street is they're not going to go down like we're trained to go down. The reason we take break falls is to avoid from getting hurt. It's called an escape mechanism. The more he takes the break fall, the more power I can develop in my technique. But I have to bring my level, or my ego, down to my adversary's ego, otherwise we have a conflict. I had one student that I was training with up in Sacramento. I was showing some of this stuff. They said, I thought Aikido was all about love, peace, and harmony. I said, it is. Aikido is love, peace, and harmony. I said, what I'm showing you here is Aikijitsu. It's lust. So, same inside parry block strike. Hit. But now this hand's going to come right here. Reach under. And then drive straight down. Now when we do the break falls, you notice, can you do a left right break fall on the ground? Stop. See where his right hand is? It's across his face. That's important. Sets it up for the break fall, but also protects your face. Okay, so just be aware of that. So when he's going down, I'm coming in and do this. He's going down. He's protecting his face, right? Because he's giving me something to hit in lieu of his face. All right, listen. Try it. Be very careful, please. Okay, I want to touch briefly, just relax a minute. I want to touch briefly on the fact that we all study martial arts for various reasons. We have our own personal reasons why we study. But because you have joined a family of martial artists, you are now held to a higher level of accountability if you would use your training. And if you were to use your training, make sure you use it right, make sure you use the right tool, because if you get taken to court because you've injured somebody and they turn around and sue you, and people will sue you for all kinds of things, they're going to go back and say, who taught the technique? And then they're going to go to the instructor that taught you, and they're either going to subpoena that instructor in to testify for you or against you. And which would you prefer them to testify for?
Or for you.
So you got to make sure in today's age, you know, we have video cameras out there, and we have cell phone video cameras, and people pick up a lot of things. And you've got to make sure that, you know, in most situations you've got witnesses. You've got to make sure that you can justify what you did in a court of law. Because I'll give you a classic example. Let's say that you're out wherever you hang out at during the daytime, and you walk around the corner and you see one of your best friends on the ground just getting the crap beat out of him. What's the first thing you would do? What?
Call 911.
Okay, what else? If you get on the phone, what would you do? Just go ahead and say it. What would you do?
I'd stop the phone.
Pardon?
I'd stop the phone.
How?
Take out the other guy.
Take out the other guy. Okay, I'm the police officer, I get on scene. I start contacting the witnesses and I find out he was the victim, he was defending himself. So you didn't see what happened before. So that's an example of making sure that you know before you take action. And that's something that's built into you as you train. You develop muscle memory instead of thought memory. And the other thing I would tell those students who are coming up the ranks and going for black belt, once you make black belt, it doesn't stop there. It's a lifelong path. And I tell my students that we have a student at the dojo, and I use the word student, that if they had stopped when they got their black belt, I would not be here today teaching in front of you. So I've been doing the martial arts for 46 years. My first teacher was my dad. I give him credit because he was the one that got me started in martial arts. And I've trained with a lot of different teachers, but my best teachers are my students. I learn more from them than they'll ever learn from me when you don't know it. It's okay. So the idea is, you know, be aware of your surroundings, be aware of what's going on around you. Don't take life for granted, don't take things for granted. I lost 2 daughters in 1987. I'm very protective of the 2 kids I have right now because they're it. There's only 4 of us in my family, that's it. And my son's the only one that's going to carry on the family name, and I don't want anything to happen to him. And so I'm very overprotective of my kids, and part of it has to do with my law enforcement background. But the point I'm trying to make is you need to be responsible and justify why you did what you did. Because if you go to court, you've got to defend yourself in front of a jury. But by the same token, it's better to be tried by 12 than carried by 6. You know anything about that?
Sir.
Okay. All right. I want to touch a little bit on weapons. I don't want to show, I'm going to demonstrate this. I'm not showing it because with weapons, it's something that requires a lot of practice. It's not something that you're going to pick up in the 3 hours of a seminar. One thing I will tell you though, is get in the habit when you're handing the weapon back to the person. If let's say Wes holds the knife up here to my throat, and I take him down on a technique, I roll him over like this, I take the weapon out, and we start over again, I hand him the weapon, he comes at me again, I do the technique. Okay, I'm going to tell you a true story. This happened in Orange County. Law enforcement officer on duty, in the daytime, walks into a 7-Eleven to get a soda. Walks in the middle of a robbery. The robber turns around, points the gun at the officer, says, hands up. The officer disarmed him, just like he'd been trained in the academy, and then hands the gun back. And then had to disarm him again, because it's muscle memory. So what we do is, I'm going to hand the weapon back to the guy. Not something I would do in the street, okay, but that's not muscle memory. It takes, it takes time. Okay, I got to put the knife down on the ground, I got to step back. Handing it back, that's muscle memory. What I'd like to touch on here is some techniques again. If the knife is under the chin here, he's got his hand here, he's pulling it this way. I don't have that much. Right. Elbows stay in, hands to the threat level. Okay, what I don't want to do is this. So what I want to do is I want to knock this down, but I'm going for the brachial artery, down this way, and turning. And then I will take this here. Now, a lot of schools finish different ways. Some people will go like this. Some people take the knife out like this and go like this. You've got to justify why you did that. I can't tell you the answer, okay? All I can tell you is it's going to depend on the situation. Now, I'll give you an example of something that happened to me. I took a 12-inch butcher knife off somebody and I took it out of their hand exactly the way I'd been trained in the dojo, which was this way. And that's when I realized this is not right. It's not safe. I'm going to change my methodology. So when I take a weapon out of somebody's hand, there's one hand controlling the weapon here, now there's 3. Okay? If I'm going to take this out of Sensei Watson's hand, it'll be my doing. He's not going to drop it. So I'm going to push down the hand until it opens the hand out. Then I'll take it out and control the weapon. That's my primary objective, is control the weapon. Now there's going to be exceptions to the rule. You see why I use the rule. maybe I have to change my thought pattern. So he puts the knife in front of my face and threatens me. That's an occasion where I might knock the knife out. But if he's got a friend, the friend's gonna pick up the knife, and I gotta offend somebody else. So it's gonna be up to you as far as what you do. It's a personal choice. I can't tell you what to do. Same thing with weapons, a handgun. Here, I'm not gonna stand here because that's not good, okay? Here. You know, whatever. Other weapons come in here like this. Other techniques, I will tell you this, every technique that I've done with a weapon I've tried with a live gun but unloaded and a trigger will pull. Especially if the finger is in the trigger. No matter how you turn the wrist, if you turn the wrist this way, it's gonna pull. So if I do my Kodash here, if he pulls the trigger, this slide's gonna come back and hit my hand, but I'd rather have that happen than here. Here, down this way. And however I'm gonna finish it, I'm gonna finish it. But the weapon always points to him. Would I use this against him? Maybe not. But it's loaded. You don't know. Okay, we'll do that. In Japan, there's a thing called sake, I think it is. It's the rope that tied up the. Whatever that was it more. Okay. How is it? Okay, good. If you order this off of Bugay, it's like $35. You go down to Petco for $6.95. You can buy a nylon leash. It's the same thing. But these are all types of techniques that you can do with ropes or belts, and they're kind of effective to use. But carry that on the plane, otherwise I ask you. Okay, the idea here, real close, close to the end here, is that when we don't spar, we do what we call freestyle. Freestyle is basically taking the techniques we've learned and we apply them to whatever's coming at us. He doesn't know what I'm going to do, I don't know what he's going to do, I don't know if he's going to attack me. Okay? But the idea is that if he comes in, I'm not going to stand here and resist. He comes in, resistance, right? He comes in again, comes in again, comes in again, again. So I stay with it, right? Understand? You okay? So I don't wait until I don't stand here and wait for the locomotive to hit me. I get out of the way and I go back and forth. You look for a little free some? 18. Okay, back up a little bit. You're going to say goodbye to change.
18.
Right? Ready? That's an example of some of the freestyle we do. Everything you saw them do, everybody else here can do. It's a matter of when. My oldest student is 72 years old. She's 4'11", and she's got both her knees are blowing out, and she's 83 pounds. And she's managed to get up to second degree black belt. It's taken her about 5 years, I think, 6 years. But when she came to me, she was very withdrawn. Couldn't stand to be touched by anybody. She had a very bad experience in Canada. And through the training, she's been able to basically take grip of her situation and, take the world, you know, by the hand, and she's not afraid now of different things. And I keep going and stop. Is that my 5-minute warning? One of the things that we do at the school is we, in our mat room, we put up a portable mat, we create a room, and we will put, it's such that there, when you walk into the room, there's 2 other rooms. Usually there's one way out, one way in. And we will pre-exhaust the student. And the reason we do that is because after 30 seconds, it's been medically proven that no matter how good a shape you are and how out of shape you are, your body's going to start shutting down. Your adrenaline's going to go down, your heart rate goes up, your blood pressure goes up, and you're going to get tired. And you need to be aware of that. I'm not saying you got to finish the altercation in 30 seconds, but what I am saying is be aware of the fact that you're going to get tired. And so we pre-exhaust them, and then we'll send them to that room, and they go up against 1 or 2 of the black belts, and it's in a confined area. Then we turn the lights out and we do it in the dark, because you're not always going to be in daylight. Okay? And I've done some studies with high-gain videotaping, where I'll videotape the students doing their freestyle or the techniques and lights, and I'll turn the lights off, all virtually dark, and I'll videotape. And when it's dark, it's more smoother, because they can't see what's coming at them. They have to feel, they have to learn to feel. And that's the idea, is if he grabs me and I tighten up, and he tightens up, and he pulls, I'm off balance. So I want to, I'm not saying give in, but I'm saying give way. He grabs my wrist, look out, this is the only part of my body he's got restricted, all right? If he's coming for this hand here, why let him grab it? This is the bait. Okay? Any more I let him punch me, or I let him grab my hand. If you stand like this, you're asking for it. Okay? If you stand like this, you belong to your weapon. If you stand like this, okay? Anybody remember Jack Benny? That's good. Right? He comes in. Right? This is good. I think he was martial arts. So the idea is keep moving, don't be a target, become part of the attack. The center of the attack is the eye of the tornado. Okay?
Oh, heck.
It's not pretty, but you know. Okay, any questions?
Sir, I know when I teach at my school, as you said, going into court, I as an instructor can be hauled in liable too, because if all I'm teaching is every time somebody's down, you know, I try to teach that when somebody taps, it's the same as giving up. I mean, and when somebody gives up in a street situation and I continue, I'm the one that's, you know, now my student does that on the street, I'm liable. I get sued. Because we know they don't just sue one person, they go until they find the person with the most amount of money.
My rule in my school, when my students come in, besides signing a waiver, on the back of the waiver is the rules that we have at the dojo. It also has the laws of self-defense, as it applies in California. They read it, they initially read it, you get a copy of it. They're not allowed to show anything I teach them, because it's not for show. It's for practical use, self-defense. If I find out they're showing it, they're gone. Especially my kids, my youth students. I don't allow them to wear the uniforms in public, unless we're at a demonstration. I was driving down one of our major streets in our city, and I saw this black belt walking down the street, a black gi and black belt. The black belt was frayed, so he's something he wasn't a beginner. He's walking down the street like this. He's walking in a neighborhood where there's been some shootings. And I think, what in the world are you trying to do? I've seen a taekwondo instructor in our school, or in our city. His school's over here, the post office is over here. He's in full uniform and standing in line at the post office. I've seen another martial arts instructor has a school next to a market and a pizza place. He goes to the market, shops, he goes into the pizza place, he's in his uniform. Yeah, he's advertising, but he's also asking for it. The other thing I want to tell you about is being aware of your surroundings. The big thing right now is MMA and Krav Maga. It's a fad. It'll die out and something else will come along. But the people who train in MMA are, not the word stereotype, but profiles. And usually they're the types of people who have very short hair, they got a little growth of the beard, cauliflower ears, and they're wearing a t-shirt that says tap out on it. That's a good sign, okay? Well, I was in Del Taco one day getting some lunch before I was going to work, and they had the balloons tied to the back of the chairs. And when I walk in there, there's this guy that fits his profile, except he didn't have the word tap out on it. He's standing there. He ordered his food, so I'm watching him. That's the kind of person I am, I'm very suspicious. And I pay for my meal, and I kind of keep my distance. So all of a sudden, I see him walk over to one of the balloons, and he goes, he goes, every balloon in the place. You know, I don't blame him. You know, I blame his teacher. He's got a poor teacher. And so as instructors, you've got to instill in your students, you represent your school, you represent your teacher. And if you represent them badly, it's going to be a reflection back on your school. So make sure, because you've now become a martial artist, that you act like one and you represent your school, your sensei, your teacher, whoever it is, as such, because that's the bad influence if you know, another example I'll call it this here. My son was standing in line with me, and there was a kid behind, and somebody left the word out. My son had a purple belt, or at the time it was a green belt. This kid behind said, well, I have a purple belt, and I can probably kick your butt. I looked at him and said, well, you got a poor teacher. That ended the discussion right there. Okay? It all goes back to the teacher. Okay? You are a product of your teacher. You emulate your teacher as much as you can, and that's all you can do. But represent your school, represent your system as it should be represented, and don't show it. Use it. But when you use it, make sure you use it right, and make sure you use the right tools. Okay?
I'd like to add one thing.
Yes.
As an instructor, part of your CYA, you know, that means cover your assets. I do it all with my students because they have to know there is what they call reasonable force, which unfortunately never gets determined until you're in the courtroom. Number one, they need to have an understanding of that, and they also have to have an understanding of what excessive force is. They should never put themselves in that position where they use excessive. And again, that gets determined in the courtroom. So it's kind of like you do the least you have to do to protect yourself from further injury and get yourself out of there. And if that becomes your stress, and you have other students say, well, that's what he teaches us, that's what he tells us, it will help protect you as an instructor. We can teach a kata where they're down and you beat them to a pulp on other stuff and break all their joints and what have you, and that's nice and well for tournaments and demonstrations and all this other stuff. But out on the street, it can get you into real trouble. I mean, you know, if you break their arm and they're out of it, and then you decide to break both their legs, that's excessive force. You know, so it's something, you know, if you strike them once and they're unconscious, you don't keep beating on them. You know, so it's kind of something you have to have your students learn. And it's for their it's actually for their legal protection more than anything else. So.
Now, what's reasonable to me may not be reasonable to you. It's what's reasonable to a reasonable person. When I did Loe's book with him, he shows techniques in his book here, and he was showing disarming the knife, and he says, and there aren't any. Cut the throat. I said, you can't put that in your book. Well, why not? I said, because somebody buys this book, and they read it, they get attacked by a knife, and they go around and cut somebody's throat when they didn't have to, they're going to come back, where'd you learn? Well, I got all learned in the book. So I said, what you do is you take the knife out and you hold it at the throat and you say, that's what you saw. You control the person after you disarm. It's entirely up to you. It's a personal decision. Because in California, sadly to say, if you buy a book or you buy a DVD at a clinic or something like that, you can technically teach it, and you can technically say that you're training with me or Professor Kirby, because we have sold you a product. And unfortunately, that's the way it works in California, because I trained with one instructor who said, you cannot use my material outside my school. And I said, well, guess what? There's a law that says I can, or anybody can for that matter. The problem you're gonna run into is, if you get called into court, we can say, that person never trained me. So, you know, that's why there's a disclaimer in this book, that this book was written to preserve the history of the art, and the techniques are being demonstrated, they're not being taught, they're being demonstrated. There's a difference between teaching it and demonstrating it. So throughout the book here, and all the DVD that I did for Logie also, it's a demonstration of techniques. Yeah, he's showing to those who are there, he's teaching the art, but it's more of a demonstration than it is teaching. I don't certify instructors. I don't have a certified course for instructors. They're assistant instructors, they stand in for me and they teach, but they've been, you know, if I had a certified course, I'd give them a certificate saying, yeah, you're certified, you know, blah, blah, blah. But I trust them, okay? I've been with them for a long time. But the point I'm trying to make is, you know, I had a guy, I was doing a name search one day on the internet, and I found my name on this school up in Stockton, that this guy trained with me. And he had misspelled my dojo name, translated one of the letters backwards, and I have never seen this guy, I have never trained with him. And so I emailed him, I said, if in fact this is my dojo you're referring to, you need to remove this off your website, because I've never trained you and I don't know who you are. However, if it's another dojo and it's another David Dye, please email me, because I'd like to find out if he's related to you. And I even had Alohe offer to go up and talk to me. So, yeah, we are protective of our art, we are protective of what we teach, but we also are protective of our students, and you know, I want to protect my students. I don't want any of my students to have to use what they've learned, but if they have to use it, they need to use it and use it right. And that's all I ask. So, I'm cutting in the lunch hour, so I don't want to. I know hungry senseis and mean senseis. Well, thank you very much. I hope I've given you something that you can take with you to share. I have some DVDs up here, Shir Panru. I have the Lloyd's book and a DVD there if you're interested. Come up and talk to me. I'll raise for sure. I'll be up there for the beginning part of the day. I'd like to thank Sensei Watkins and Sensei. Because he's up here too. He's up here because he can't. Charles, this is your Father's Day gift, right?
Yeah.
All right, go on, everyone.